Muerte.com. Fatalities, misfortunes, and other gruesome images. A worthless piece of flesh. Work 40 hours a week, plus a few more without pay. Your back hurts, the spine bursts. Your heart hurts, the head bursts. Snap your fingers, they also burst. But you still go to work, a loyal zombie to the empire, a worthless piece of flesh to an empire that will throw you to the fire whenever you become useless. Cause to them, you'll always be replaceable, even if you turn into everything, even a briefcase full of guts. A fatal mistake. You see the girl you like, and she gives you a wink, so you walk towards her with your beer in hand, but then you slip on the wet floor, and as you fall, you realize it. Your hands won't break this fall, your face will, and you end up with a broken neck as the broken glass of your beer bottle pierces through your flesh, and suddenly you notice she didn't really wink at you, but rather the guy behind you. In a cup of joe. There you walk into your favorite coffee shop, and you ask for your regular schmegula, but this time around all goes wrong, as the bartender accidentally pours the regular schmegula all over her body, and as her flesh slowly burns, an instinct unknown to you awakens, and you start to bite off her flesh. Everybody runs away. They've never seen anything like it. You don't even notice. Your mind went blank, and when you finished, all you did was drink some blood and coffee in a cup of joe. Mall rats. All of them rejected by society, all of them gather in a mall, becoming little mall rats. As they get bitten by radioactive rats found within the mall walls, they don't notice it at first, but they eventually see the fur, the whiskers, the teeth, the tail. It all grows, and they only find solace in the mall that brought them this unprecedented fate. Your 50th birthday. It is your birthday, your 50th birthday, and you finally decide to go all out. So you invite all of your friends and travel back to simple times where there were no props in mind. You all talk, you all laugh, but then you go inside the bouncing house, and that is where all goes wrong. As four men in middle age jump around and break their bones, later to be found by their wives. Man-ant. Scientist going mad as he tries to understand the life of ants, and so he tries to try this life and goes inside a machine that will turn him small, but he fails as an ant. Joins him in his venture, and both fuse with him, ending up with the head and legs of the ant in the body of a man. Man-ant was his new moniker, as he continued over and over to understand the way of ants while trying to find a way back. Man-spider. A man consumed by spiders and their many intricacies. He studies them, he plays with them, eventually he lets them take him, eat him, consume him, and be nothing but another piece of flesh, though he would call himself Man-spider. Junk. Needles all around, arms and legs with many small holes. All of these limbs turn purple as masses of flesh slowly die at the hands of junk, piles and piles of wasted lives lost to the power of a nasty force. Cocaine clown. There he goes playing all around, there he goes dancing all around, there he goes singing all around, there he goes killing all around as he continues to consume the mighty white powder that drives him wild, that unleashes his real side, a beast hidden within that always needed to come out and consume the cocaine clown. Some had found him to be an all-time funny guy, but after seeing his actions, they wanted no compassion. And so he found none when he was subjected to a dry and slow chair electrocution that many saw and admired as they saw a demon slowly burn in fire. Stairs. You slowly walk down the stairs with a phone to your face, and you don't see your destiny until you stumble like a fumble and you find in your short life in the afterlife. Professor Pencil through the eye. There he goes walking from student, from aisle to aisle, answering questions, aiding those in need, teaching those in need, until he's suddenly tripped by a student looking to prank. But the prank goes awry as the professor's eyes fall on the sharp end of his disciples' pencils. And then, as he screams for his life, some students stare in awe, others take photos and vids with their phones, and the prankster just laughs as the blood slowly spills across the room as the professor slowly gets up and runs to his doom after falling on his neck from a third floor classroom. Fast food clerk. Fast food clerk working his ass off every day, going home with a stench of fried food and grease, from his shoes to his hair, all of it for a mere $7.25 per hour. Unappreciated work, arduous work. One day as he works, the worst of the worst happens, as he accidentally slips on the grease and falls headfirst into the hot, oil-filled fryer, instantly burning his face to bare flesh, later to be fired for ruining that day's food and providing a horrific image to the customer's experience. The janitor. Every single day, the janitor swept and mopped those floors, but one unlucky day, what seemed routine suddenly turned tragic as he accidentally impaled his eye socket with the sharp end of the mop, leaving him to struggle on the floor as he tried to get up from a floor full of detergent and his blood. He never got to get up as he continued to impale his eyes with each fall, losing more blood with each fall, which eventually led to his last breaths, only to be later found by students, teachers, and the principal on the next day of school. Kid Thunder. There he is, shouting Kid Thunder, breakdancing his way to infinity, releasing thunderbolts and shocks all across Earthrealm, unknowingly frying trees and human beings at the same time. Angry Mother. And there he sat, simply doing his job, delivering homework to his students and their parents, until suddenly one of the mothers had a complaint and asked for him to go to his car. "Why does my son have an F on this work?" she yelled instantly, and as he tried to speak out, the first word from his response, a loud gunshot, was heard. He didn't realize it at first until the blood started staining his shirt and he touched the soaked fabric, but by then he was already too late. 3 more bullets followed. The students screamed and yelled, and his co-workers tried to help, while others were still in disarray. Meanwhile, the angry mother fled the scene as she left the body of another teacher dead on the ground over a puddle of his own blood. 3 kids and 3 ghosts. Children will always be curious, which is why this trio wasn't afraid of going into the haunted house, inhabited by 3 neighborhood ghosts. People would always warn them of how said ghost would suck their souls away, never to be found again. But they didn't care. They just wanted adventure. So they went in, flashing their lights all across the house, never finding a thing, until they were approached by the youngest of the ghouls, one who would take them on a trip across the house, flying them from room to room, even to the skies, even making jokes along the way. But then they were introduced to the room with the door painted in blood. They didn't know it was blood. They just thought it was another shade of red. And it was this mistake, this childish thought, that would lead to their demise, as the eldest ghouls would suck away their souls as soon as they entered the room, leaving their bodies to be a part of the pile of corpses that filled this room. Devil trucks in Cacolina. Devil trucks in Cacolina, driving at full speed like Dracula, blasting away with their horns, crushing all those on the road as they drive on the wrong side, but they don't care. Their only care is for destruction and consumption of human life, so they cry, "Die, die, die, die," as they drive from earth to hell. A swing and a miss. A truck driver minding his business, listening to butt rock as he drives from state to state, until one day he has to face a large fly that doesn't try to fly away but instead stays, and as he tries to make it fade, he strays away from his path. No more wrath, only death, a car wreck, all because a swing and a miss. Beehive Pinata. Children play doing pranks, but this time they won't forget, as the prank will lead to death. They take their friend to their gift, blindfold on, batter up, he hits it hard, they sting hard, his body swells, he can't yell. They all laugh until he dies. Then they cry, his body hide, promise to tell nobody else, but they can't hide, for they will dive by the hand they help to kill. Now they fear what they might see during the night, as the boy's cries can be heard all through the night, and their dreams he will invade until they go confess for their crime and say goodbye to the lives thought to be fine. Puke to death. Too much food, too much beer, too much weed, too much, too much. No, you puke to death like Kurt in Hateful Eight. What can you do? Nothing much. Gluttony, your path to death. Two mailmen. Two mailmen make a pact fueled by hate against their job and those they help. One in the office, the other on the road. One with a gun, the other with bombs. You can hear the shots, you can hear the explosions all across the office, all across the town. Many people die. Town marked for life. Their names never to be mentioned, but forever to be studied along with their acts, along with their pact, as well as their brain and their acts on that day. From side to side. As a baby, he used to smile a lot. He used to be the happiest toddler you could ever see. However, as he started to grow up, his mother started to notice that he'd stopped smiling. This bothered her quite a bit. His father, seeing his concerned mother, decided to take things into his own hands, and by using a butcher's knife, he decided to carve a new bloody smile from side to side, so his mother could see that bright, beautiful smile once again. She was forever grateful, and she always smiled upon seeing his smile, but the kid, soon to be teen and later adult, would slowly discover the origins behind his new dark scars. Birdie. There it would stand, staring at you from a distance. Blue head, red ears, red mouth, small, tiny little eyes were just a few of its features, and when you least expected, it would open its wide, tarkatan-like mouth and feast on your flesh before searching for a new victim to quench its bloodthirst. Gora, the opera singer. In the deepest, darkest realms of hell, she would sing till her organs couldn't do it anymore, and she would be praised by the devil himself, showering her in blood and giving her slaves to feast upon for days, until she needed to sing once more. This was the routine of Gora, the opera singer. Precious joy of life. Push and push and push she did until the precious joy of life came out of her body, and her husband were both happy until they saw what she pushed out. A creature with 4 tentacles and a devil head, laughing its tiny heart out until it started killing every medic in sight before feasting upon her and her husband's flesh. One face, 3 mouths. One face, 3 mouths, the main features that set it apart from its peers. It was a demon who always wore green shirts with blue and red makeup as accessories. It would always be hungry, searching for men to feast upon, especially those who stayed quiet in the face of prejudice and bigotry. It smiles at you. It smiles at you, the corpse of the demon that you tried to cremate. It smiles at you and never leaves your memory, haunting you in your dreams until the day you die. And it will then follow your family members, especially the youngest, for it will feast on their youth, on their souls, until it gains back the life you took from it, and it can come back to life to bring death through famine to this world of ours. Its stench. Its stench follows you all around, trying to drive you mad until you give in and give it your soul, so it can accomplish its mission of giving its master 100,000 souls in order to taste freedom. Pregnant. She carries her baby every day for 9 months, and while many can feel their babies in a gentle fashion, she always feels hers in an extreme fashion, as it stretches her belly beyond belief, to the point where others can see its little limbs almost bursting out of her body. The little rascal surely wanted to come out early, but the mother was patient enough and took all the pain that came along before her little demon was brought to this home she calls hell. The wait. Through pain and suffering, she would wait for her lover to come back. She would take it all just to have her lover back. Punches, kicks, cuts, whips, shots, everything. She would take it all. Even if it meant leaving her first layer of flesh, she would wait there, slowly bleeding herself to death, and would never come back, 'cause he was already there, that place she would soon call home, the devil's lair. Muerte.com. They would spend hours upon hours upon hours there looking at a screen that would provide all forms of entertainment, from music to shows to porn to memes. It was all there. And they would eventually lose days, months, years, losing their eyes and ears in the process. But this wouldn't bother them, as technology would advance to aid their needs, and new forms of consuming entertainment would be available, and they would gradually lose more and more of the limbs and organs, until it was only their brains that would survive. And even they needed to be entertained, and so they would, as technology would yet be advanced enough to entertain a bodiless brain that would only seek some entertainment. Muerte.com was definitely a reality, and the pigs were just getting richer, as brains would become mindless consumers of whatever form of content they were given.